It is the most hazardous region in near-Earth orbit. A massive, invisible pocket of radiation that acts as a consistent threat to our global infrastructure. When satellites traverse this zone, they do not merely experience minor errors, they suffer tangible forensic-level hardware trauma. Sensors go dark, memory banks are corrupted, and critical systems are forced to power down to prevent permanent destruction. In the total darkness of the International Space Station, astronauts have reported a strange phenomenon. White flashes occurring behind their eyes. These are not hallucinations. They are the direct result of high-energy particles piercing the delicate tissue of their retinas. This is not a theoretical hazard. It is a documented recurring system failure occurring 200 miles above the South Atlantic. We are tracking a region that is actively eating our technology from the inside out. This is the Bermuda Triangle of Space. To understand the threat, we must conduct a baseline audit of our planet's primary defense. Earth is protected by the Van Allen belts, trapped charged particles held in position by the Earth's magnetic field. They act as a critical shield against the relentless barrage of solar radiation. However, this shield is not uniform. The South Atlantic Anomaly is a significant weak point where the inner belt dips dangerously toward the surface. This is not a negligible fluctuation. It is a critical vulnerability where Earth's magnetic barrier fails to deflect incoming radiation. At its core, radiation intensity within this zone is an order of magnitude higher than anywhere else in low Earth orbit. We are dealing with a structural vulnerability in our planet's magnetic field, and for decades we have been forced to navigate directly through it. Let's examine the evidence. When a satellite enters the South Atlantic Anomaly, it is subjected to a relentless bombardment of high-energy protons. We classify these as single-event upsets. A single strike can flip a bit in the satellite's memory, causing the craft to reboot, lose telemetry, or execute unauthorized commands. The Hubble Space Telescope provides a perfect case study. It does not even attempt to collect data while transiting the zone. It enters a protected state to shield its sensitive electronics. But there is a mitigation protocol. Engineers use a process called radiation hardening. They physically wrap sensitive components in heavy metals like tantalum or lead, and they design software to perform checksums. If the onboard computer detects a bit flip, it immediately ignores the corrupted data and reruns the calculation. It is an endless, high-stakes game of digital whack-a-mole, and it is a cost we pay every single day to keep our satellites operational. It's not just our hardware that is vulnerable, it's our biological occupants. When the International Space Station passes through the South Atlantic Anomaly, the crew is subjected to an ionizing dose of radiation significantly higher than in other regions of their orbit. This is where the white flash phenomenon occurs. Even with their eyes closed, cosmic rays strike the retina directly, causing the brain to perceive a burst of light. To minimize exposure, Mission Control often schedules non-essential tasks away from the station's most exposed modules during these transits. We are learning that the human body, much like a microchip, has a finite tolerance for the South Atlantic Anomaly's environment. Beyond the physics and the biology, there is the economic impact. We are living in an era of new space, where companies are launching thousands of small satellites into orbit. These smaller, cheaper satellites are often less hardened than the billion-dollar flagship probes of the past. For a private company, a single event upset in the South Atlantic Anomaly isn't just a technical glitch, it's a financial liability. We are seeing an increase in satellite downtime, shortened mission lifespans, and complex insurance claims tied directly to the growth of this anomaly. The South Atlantic Anomaly has become a literal tax on the commercial space industry. As the anomaly grows, the operational cost of maintaining a global network of satellites rises, forcing us to ask, can we afford to build in an area that is becoming increasingly hostile to our technology? If this were a static phenomenon, we could optimize our orbital paths to avoid it. But the data shows a different reality. The South Atlantic Anomaly is drifting. It is moving steadily westward, and it is increasing in scale. Current models indicate that the anomaly may even be splitting into two distinct lobes. This is tied to the chaotic, evolving nature of Earth's magnetic core. Some researchers argue the South Atlantic Anomaly is a precursor to a major pole shift, a massive systemic reconfiguration of our planet's internal dynamo. If the poles do begin a reversal, this dent in our armor might not just grow, it could become the new norm for the entire planet. We are relying on modern technology to navigate through a magnetic shield that is becoming increasingly erratic. Science can quantify the South Atlantic Anomaly, and engineers can harden the systems that fail within it. Yet we cannot address the root cause. We are witnessing a fundamental instability in our planet's core that forces us to acknowledge a difficult reality. Our control over the orbital environment is limited. We are operating within a zone where the shield has failed. As we move into an era of thousands of new private satellites and a return to the Moon, we can no longer afford to treat this anomaly as a localized nuisance. It is a fundamental limit on where we can safely operate. Let me know your theories regarding the expansion of the South Atlantic Anomaly in the comments. If you enjoyed this investigation, please like, subscribe and share. It really helps the channel. I'll see you in the next one.